The final race of the day, race number 25, Mini X30, is on its parade lap now. Macaulay Bishop and Leo Robinson share row number 1. Wesley Swain and Cameron Pratt-Thompson are on row number 2. Lewis Bird and Joey Brown share row 3 out of Jack Hobson and Tommy Harfield. Then on row 5, Taylor Orridge, the red-headed Rocket, and Henry Jocelyn, followed by Thomas Behrman and Eden Spanswick. Oh dear, that's the number 19 Kart of Jack Cunningham, who should have been starting on row number 9. Charlie Morrison, Jones and Brandon Truman on row 7. Mason Rudman and Isaac Phelps, row 8. Then it's Jack Cunningham, and Aston Wiggins is going to be all on his own on row number 9. It is pouring with rain, Anthony. We have 15 minutes. The track is soaking wet. Can these Mini X30 drivers sink or swim?
Well, let's find out as they get lined up. Can the number 19 of Jack Cunningham get back onto the back of this field before that race gets underway? It would be nice to see so. They are fairly spread out. Look like the front two pounced quite early. Something tells me they could be going round again, but let's find out as they come out of the final corner into the tram lines. Is it going to be a green flag start? No, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
I did not think it would be.
Now look at that spray. The visibility then is terrible. So we're going to hold your breath through the, and this isn't a bad thing. This is giving the drivers another chance to get the karts round and just displace some of the water that's beginning to pool over the circuit. Okay, championship situation. Leo Robinson has won 3 out of the 4 rounds so far. Led this weekend, coming in with 639 points. Macaulay Bishop, but he's moved up to 763. Macaulay Bishop has won the one round, but has scored maximum points in the heats and the pre-final, and he is now up in the second, 749 points. That is very, very tight indeed. The game is not over yet at all. Yes, there's the number 19 Kart, Jack Cunningham, back in the race. Wesley Swain, Jack Hobson and Henry Jocelyn are really fighting over third in the point standings. It's a head-to-head between the 2 plate of Robinson and the 68 of Bishop. They're both getting plenty of support on our chat. Who
Bishop
is going to win?
Did Bishop use too much tyres in the pre-final earlier on? Let's find out.
Yes, because that was on wet tyres and Bishop won by a long way. Was he using them too? And look at Wesley Swain up the inside of his teammate Robinson to take P2. Bishop leads out of the first hairpin, out of the first chicane, and down towards the first hairpin. That was Tommy Harfield in Kart 24 getting sideways and aquaplaning. Great kart control from these Mini X30 drivers. 12, 13, 14 years old. Bishop leads, and where's Swain? Up into Peter, they're 4 wide behind. Now, Robinson in third. He has got to first of all get past his teammate Wesley Swain, and then he can set off after Macaulay Bishop. Bishop has got 2 Team Pullman Racing teammates in the form of Cameron Pratt-Thompson and Lewis Bird in 4th and 5th position. Then it is the Kart and the KR Sport, number 24 of Tommy Harfield, and you can see the very distinctive number 74 of ST Racing's Joey Brown going through as well. But it's Bishop in the number 68 Kart leading at the end of lap number 1.
Yeah, great start then. They cross the line. Bishop from Swain, Robinson, I should say, Pratt-Thompson, Bird, Harfield, then it's Hobson, Brown, Orridge, Spanswick, Morrison, Jones, Behrman, Cunningham, then it's Wiggins, Jocelyn, Phelps, Truman and Rudman round out all 18 karts still running in this race. There you go, you can just see there Bishop pulling away a slight gap at the moment, but Swain there, the number 8 in second place. Robinson fighting in third. There's Pratt-Thompson coming through as well, the 33, as the rest of the field comes through, taking a very wide line into the Iredale's hairpin. Down the inside, looks... Leo Robinson can't quite do it, and Charlie Morrison Jones with a 5-second time penalty. The weekend not looking good for the Jade Racing team in Mini X30.
Now, Wesley Swain, it was having a chat with his dad there. So you look at the, now you look, oh, wait there, there's Robinson at the inside of his teammate. I was going to say, if you have a close look at the number 8 kart, Wes Swain, he's pint-sized. The pedal extensions on the number 8, look how far back his pedals are. That's how small and sort of diminutive he is. So he's battling against older and much bigger drivers in this. You can just see how far back the pedal is. Oh, and that great kart control there. Thomas Behrman getting a warning flag. So Robinson, last year's runner-up, won 3 out of the 4 rounds so far this year. Sets off after the number 68 of Macaulay Bishop. Bishop has just set a new fastest lap, 60.34 seconds. The gap back to Robinson is 1.65.
Well, that gap has opened up a lot. It doesn't look like 1.65 as they're going into the hairpin there. It looks a lot less than that. We'll have to see when they next cross a timing beam. May just be the concertina effect that's giving me the heebie-jeebies there. But as they go through St. John's again, there, the gap you can see on your screen. It is opening up, but we'll have to find out. There's Hobson right behind Spanswick now as they go through. Line astern, Hobson down the inside.
Good choice, Hobson.
Yeah, nice move there. Getting in front, moving up the order. Now he's got a bit of clean air, can try and close that gap up to Wesley Swain in third place in that number 8 Fusion Motorsport kart. But as they go through, 11.5 minutes to go, plus that one additional up. Oh, side by side there. That was the 74, wasn't it? Joey Brown.
That was Joey Brown and Jack Cunningham having a territorial dispute.
Yes,
going through the first chicane.
Very good way of putting it. It was very
fastest lap. Leo Robinson, 59.83. The gap down to 1.2 seconds. Bishop is not going to have everything all his own way. Robinson is closing in. Robinson knows a win here could really, really send him a long way towards the title. But if he gives up points, any more points this weekend to Bishop, it's going to be Bishop who ends up with the momentum heading into the final doubleheader round at PFI.
With how they are right now, the championship points only separates them by 11.
Yep, 11 points. That's before drop scores, obviously, but I mean, still very, very tight. Now, great stuff. Robinson set the fast lap on lap number 3. On lap number 4, Bishop set a new fast lap. 59.76, plays 59.87. 1.3 seconds is your lead. And I got to say, Jack Hobson, the MLC Motorsport team, they are putting on a show here as well. Hobson closing in on Swain. Now, I want to clarify that I did use the pun, never the Swain shall meet, in the pre-final. So I believe there was a bet going on that I would say it or not. I want to clarify, just not the job involving me, might I add. But just in case anyone was going to have an argument there. But I did use the pun earlier on.
Jack Hobson had a good finish in his pre-final earlier on. Finished 7th place overall, up 4 places from his original starting spot of 11th. So, you know, he's had a good running so far. And seeing him here now in 4th place again, just closing in though, you can see he's really caught up to the back there of Wesley Swain as they go through. Expect an overtake maybe in the next couple of laps. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. But Hobson is on a charge here.
Through the first game, this is the battle of a 3rd place. Final podium position. There's the battle of a 5th place between the number 33 of Pratt Thompson and the number 10 of Lewis Bird. Now further back, Tommy Harfield runs 7th, Taylor Orridge runs 8th. There's the new fast lap for Leo Robinson, 59.6 here, the gap down to 1.1 seconds now between 1st and 2nd. A little bit further back, Harfield 7th, Orridge is 8th, Spanswick is 9th, then it's Cunningham recovering into 10th, Jocelyn is 11th, Morrison Jones 12th, Joey Brown 13th, Isaac Phelps 14th, then it's Thomas Behrman, Ashton Wiggins, Mason Rudman and Brandon Truman. All 18 starters still running. On lap number 6, 9.25 minutes to go. Torrential rain, horrific conditions, but the Mini X30 drivers are putting on an absolute driving clinic here at the moment. They splash out of Sunny Bend up towards Paddock. This is Swain in the number 8 kart, Hobson number 6 fighting over the final podium position, but up at the front it's now gained back on. Bishop takes a new fastest lap, 59.57. These are like two heavyweight boxers slugging it out, one after the other at the front, and here's the battle of a 3rd. Oh, Hobson almost slithering into braking. Great stuff, Anthony.
Yeah, good stuff from these two again. Yeah, Hobson's he's got the pace, he's got the waft, and now he just needs to get past. Here we go. 8.5 minutes to go, plus that one additional lap out of the Iredale's hairpin. And again, it looked like Swain actually, I think he's noticed Hobson now, and I think he pulled the pin slightly there because he came out of that corner like a rocket, he did, and has opened up quite a bit of a gap now, I will say.
Yeah.
As they come down the hill now into the braking zone.
And I'm just looking there. So last time around, Wes Swain put in his personal best lap, a 60.32 second lap. Jack Hobson, his best lap is a 60.08. They are, and look at that, this time around, we're not watching the battle of the front, but now Robinson goes fastest, 59.44 seconds. It's like lap after lap. Every time Bishop asks a question, Robinson answers, and as though Bishop can sense that Robinson's gained, he then responds. This is great stuff, and I've got to say that the number 2 kart of Leo Robinson, he is now 4.5, nearly 5 seconds in front of everyone else. Yeah, Bishop checking over his shoulder. He pushes. These are two fantastic drivers, and they are absolutely butchering the rest of this field. They're over 5 seconds up the road. We're only halfway through. They're trading fastest lap after fastest lap after fastest lap, and they are half a second, easily a lap quicker than everybody else in these conditions.
Yeah, they've opened up a gap of 5.2 seconds to Wesley Swain, but now this battle, it was 1.4 seconds. It's now less than a second between Bishop and Robinson. They've been battling head and toe all the way through this season, and this season is far from over. Like I said, there's 11 points in it before drop scores as it stands at the moment. With Robinson, if he can get in front of Bishop, it extends that lead once more. So we have to keep an eye on it. So close to the edge of the circuit. Same
lines with the absolutely teetering on the edge of adhesion. Bishop checks over his shoulder again. Well, this time, look at that purple first sector for Bishop. Robinson's best lap, a 59.44. Bishop's best lap, a 59.57. Nobody else in this race has gone under a minute. They're dominating. They're putting an absolute clinic on. Bishop is quicker this lap than Robinson, but only by a touch. The gap is 0.8 of a second. And again, if one of these drivers puts a wheel wrong, it's game over, because there's 59.43 for Bishop. Robinson, a 59.7. So far, they've done 8 racing laps.
Yeah.
Each of their 8 laps are quicker than anybody else's best lap. This is absolutely superb. This is why they've got so much support coming in on the thing. Paul Munn has taken Macaulay Bishop under his wing and has given him place in the team, whereas traditionally he was always just a privateer driver. They ran as a family, and he won last year's Cadet Army Championship in the most emotional, dramatic way possible. Leo Robinson, he came through Bambino. He's been picked up by the Algerian Karting Federation, this Anglo-Algerian driver, and they know they've got a superstar on their hands. They put him into the representing Algeria in the CIK Karting Academy. He's a star. They know he's a star. You are looking at 2 sensationally talented drivers who've got a huge future in this sport, and they are now 7 seconds in front of everybody else, and still, a 59.8 for Bishop, a 59.4 for Robinson. The gap is down to less than a second again, and still none of the other drivers have even got close to their slowest lap so far. This is superb.
Yeah, they've just been putting in fastest lap over fastest lap as well. It's just absolutely fantastic racing between these two. That's the closest they've been all race long. It's only 0.6 of a second is the gap. Again, Bishop looking over the shoulder. Every time he exits out of the Iredale's hairpin, you got to focus. You got to look in front. That's where you're going. Don't focus on what's coming up behind you, because that's where the mistakes start coming in. But don't expect mistakes, because these two drivers...
Oh, over the curb there, Bishop, sorry.
No, absolutely fantastic 2 drivers here. Here's a look further back. There's Hobson and Swain. Hobson's got back in front of Swain as well. Swain fighting back there as well as they go through. They're having a fantastic scrap. This is a scrap for 3rd place as well. Back at the front, though, another one of the big moves as well, because Taylor Orridge is moving up the order. He's up into P8 at the moment as well. He's had a good old race.
I tell you what, I think Bishop, when we talk about was Macaulay Bishop using too much of his tyres in the pre-final, I think you may have been right, because he's just done his slowest lap so far, a 60 dead, and Robinson is there. Robinson at 59.66. This is lap 12. We've got 3.5 minutes to go, and there's Robinson, the crossover move. Bishop's going to get the run. Smart move. But now we saw Bishop. Bishop started using more curb than Robinson. That means that he needs to use the curb to get the car. Oh, he's run wide. He's run wide. Robinson's got the lead. Bishop, a crack in the armoury. Robinson capitalises. Great stuff. They're 10 seconds clear of everybody else. Oh, now Bishop's got to fight back. So, for 10 laps, Robinson asked and Bishop responded. Now, Robinson is through. Bishop has got to respond. How much? There he goes to the inside, to the inside, to the inside. Side by side as they come across the line. Wheel to wheel. Bishop's got the inside line. Has he got the grip through the first hairpin? Bishop back in the lead. 3 minutes to go, Anthony.
My goodness me, these two Titans are absolutely nose to tail all the way round. You can't look at that move there.
What a move from Robinson. I think I've blown a gasket.
Oh, goodness me. Calm down, Henry. Calm down, Henry.
He's gone on the outside. Bishop's gone around the outside. Oh,
get ready for that switchback again, but he can't do it. Can't do it this time. So he tried to replicate that. Robinson learned from that. Oh, again, look at that switch over again. He expected that move to come back, but no, he dives it back down the inside again. But again, look at that. Robinson positions that Kart beautifully to defend from that attack there as they go out of the Stuart S's down in towards St. John's again, clouting that curb. Look at that. Bishop taking more curb than Robinson. Yeah. Oh, Robinson a little wide there as they exit out. This could allow Bishop to go down the inside here. Bishop ready for the switch over. Hooks it on the outside now. Feeds the power in. Robinson holds that inside line, defending, but Bishop comes down the inside. Oh, he tried to do it, couldn't quite. Slots back in. This race is far from over. Less than 2 minutes plus that one lap. Again, Robinson defensive, sideways under braking. Oh my goodness me, you can't put anything between these two drivers.
Absolutely superb from both drivers. And you look at those karts, there is not Robinson showed Bishop the outside line there. Well, to be fair, hey, Macaulay Bishop put himself on the outside. Leo Robinson had absolutely every right to do that there. I was going to say, there is not a scuff mark on either of those two karts. They have been wheel to wheel and they have not laid a finger on each other. And I think Bishop trying to go around the outside, and that was very smart from Leo Robinson. Now, 1 minute to go. The gap is on. Robinson can calm down. I have to say, as that race progressed, it looked as though Robinson's kart was in a better shape, better set. The tyres were looking better than Bishop. Bishop having to use those curbs, he was having to force the issue a little bit more, and the more you have to force the issue, that means that they're struggling. Now what can Bishop do? I think that Leo Robinson has done enough, but that was the most breathtaking couple of laps that we've seen. Sometimes, you know, these kart races are so good and there's 10 drivers battling for the lead, and sometimes all you need is 2 drivers on an equal. And you can see Macaulay shaking his head, but again, you know, there was nothing wrong with what Leo did there. Here they come. You can see as they come up this way. Now Bishop's on the outside. Leo Robinson, they're side by side. They're wheel to wheel. It's in the rain, and again they just sit and Leo hey. That's all you got to do. That's the line they were taking, and I'll guarantee you, if Macaulay Bishop was the one on the inside line there, and it was Robinson on the outside, it would have been Macaulay Bishop easing Leo towards the ground there. So no complaints there. That was just fantastic, smart stuff as we start the final lap.
Yep, final lap board is out then for these two drivers. Like you say, they've cleared a gap. We saw it in the pre-final. Bishop pulled away from the main pack. Robinson didn't. Robinson maintaining those tyres in those drying conditions, expecting the rain to come later on. It did come, and that has just allowed Robinson to have that extra weight. Oh, you know what? I thought that pack was stepping out of the...
Yep. But he's still got one heavy braking zone there.
Yeah, he does,
So effectively, Leo Robinson sacrificed a bid for victory in the pre-final by sitting 3 seconds behind Macaulay Bishop to make sure that he's to gamble on the rain coming again to make sure he had better rubber for this race, and it's worked for him. Into Sunny Bend, what a race, Anthony Jordan. Final corner, final lap, final race of the day.
Excellent stuff from both of these drivers. You cannot fault either of them. A fantastic running, but this driver, number 2, Leo Robinson, across the line, wins Mini X30 final here at Rowrah for the Wera Tools British Kart Championship. Bishop, a fantastic race, crosses the line in second. Hobson crosses the line in third, some 7 seconds further down the road from Wesley Swain, Lewis Bird, Cameron Pratt-Thompson, Tommy Harfield, Henry Jocelyn, Taylor Orridge crosses in 9th with Eden Spanswick rounding out the top 10.
Well, that is 4 wins out of 5 this year for Leo Robinson, but in the championship, Macaulay Bishop is still only 17 points behind. Such has been the consistency of both the two front runners. Nobody can breathe easy. Again, what a fantastic final. Bishop is going to feel aggrieved, but he's got no reason to. That was just great racing from Robinson and Bishop. And they have to say, look at that. You know, the comments coming in, both of them, you know, both you're saying about how talented these two drivers are. You've just seen brilliant. And they beat Jack Hobson by 9.4 seconds. Everybody else was 12 plus seconds back, and the rest of the field are no slouches. The rest of the field is some of the best in Britain. But again, that is just 2 drivers, and sometimes you get that when you've got your main rival. you go into a zone. It's almost like an out-of-body experience. You just go to places that you never thought you could go to, and you push harder, you dig deeper, the pace comes, and eventually you find yourself and you're in a whole separate race. Well done, both drivers.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. What a way to end a weekend.
Yep, I mean, 10 minutes before that race, we're sitting here, we're playing some adverts, we're playing some interviews, and we're thinking, is the final race going to go out? Because that puddle is looking a bit big, and they're going to have to slow things down. Well, luckily, somehow the weather gods managed to smile and allowed us to bring you that race, ladies and gentlemen. What a finish. And breathe.